Welcome to the Unscripted podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Conrad, and this show is where we hear the real stories from real people changing the world. From everyday people to the top celebrities, all the conversations are real, raw, and always unscripted. Thank you for joining me today. Now let's get to today's guest. Okay, everybody, welcome to Unscripted One-on-One from my still unnamed studios here in Columbus, Ohio. And new friend today. Let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and introduce you. You introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, your family, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good. My name's Matt McCoy. If you've seen any of my stuff, you've probably seen me on YouTube. I have a couple YouTube channels where I teach kind of beginner guitar. Also try to do a little motivating. We'll talk more about that also in the future. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina right now. From West Virginia and Virginia. I was born in West Virginia, but grew up in Virginia. So now all my family's here in North Carolina, so that's really nice. Been married to my wife 14 years, got 3 little boys, 6, 4, and 1 now, so they keep us super busy. So I just try to stay active. You know how that is.
Yeah. Yeah, and you are busy, and there's a lot we're probably going to cover here, and you got a lot going on, so we'll cover a lot of that. My introduction to you was, many years ago, just like most people, I think I picked up a guitar for like $100. Started, trying to get 3 chords into truth in my apartment when I was single, learning 3 chords, and then kids came, family came, life came, and so over the years, I've been off and on with my guitar experience. But a year ago, I actually had sold I had a real nice Takamine, like probably too nice for me, and I sold it to get an iPhone. And then, about a year ago, about Christmas time, I picked up another one, and I'm a big Takamine guy. I even brought my there she is.
Okay, nice. I like it.
There she is. So I brought it just for this, so you could. But no, so I picked it up and I started wanting to learn a couple different songs. So I go to YouTube and I type it in, and next thing I know, I find country song teacher. That's right? Country song
teacher, correct.
Country song teacher. And next thing I know, I'm following videos, I'm learning stuff. And you just made it so easy to learn, for especially country music fans. But that's not all you do. And so, that's why I wanted to have you on, is because here we are. We're coming up against Christmas. People are going to buy a guitar. People are going to get out their old guitar. We've had pandemic where people are locked at home, and so they're probably dusting off a guitar, or maybe they get one after Christmas. So I want to get you on because your stuff is really, really good. So just tell us. Let's start with your story, and then we'll get into what all the stuff that you do. Like where did all this start?
Well, I appreciate it. It's kind of funny. I was just talking to my mother about this. So I grew up big time into athletics. So football, basketball, track, did lots of powerlifting, that kind of thing. So all I knew was sports 24/7 in my life. My mother was a gospel singer. She used to actually travel around, have some CDs. So I had music going on in my house 24/7. My sophomore year of high school, I had a back injury. Had to wear a back brace for 6 months, couldn't play football. I mean, I was upset at God, just devastated. That was my identity. All I was known for is sports. In that time that I had that injury, I took 6 guitar lessons. If it wasn't that injury, I probably would have never, for whatever reason, I was just bored at the house. So I took 6 guitar lessons. Then my back healed up, went back into sports, kind of forgot about the guitar. And then once college came around, I started picking it up more and more. And then one thing led to another. And as far as the first lesson, I was doing a job from my house in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was working from home. And I remember just going week after week and literally not saying a word to anyone. It was just, my wife would come home in the afternoons. I would wake up in the morning and just be by myself all the time. And I was like, man, I'm having no impact on anybody's life. I remember just thinking that, like, I was there typing my computer all day, like I'm having no impact. I got to do something. So I remember I looked over the corner and saw my guitar sitting there. I was like, well, I know a few things on guitar. So I said, maybe I'll do a couple lessons. So start a YouTube channel. And this was even, I think it was 2012, 2013. So YouTube was as popular as it is now, obviously. So turned out to be a blessing because it's kind of in on the ground floor, so to speak. But I taught just a few basic chords. I started a channel called Acoustic Selection, and I taught kind of praise and worship lessons, very, very beginner stuff that someone knows nothing about guitar. And I kind of forgot about it. And then I noticed when I logged back in, a bunch of comments. Hey man, you made that easy. And one thing led to another, and it just kind of snowballed.
Snowballed to 107. Now this is a different channel now, but snowballed to 170,000 subscribers on YouTube. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so that's a big snowball.
Well, again, it's amazing how God works. So I tell people, I had 3 state championships in football. When my team never lost, we had amazing teams. I always say, I don't even know where those 3 state championship football rings are, but come full circle, I play the guitar every day, and I have an impact and influence, and I'm able to teach people. And then it's almost my full-time job as far as my income source. So it's just been a crazy blessing that I couldn't have planned it all, but it kind of just snuck up on me, so to speak.
Yeah, and you've made a massive impact on YouTube. And I think it was funny, my son and I were talking the other day, and they send out those plaques, right? And I think they're for different tiers, and I'm not versed enough in YouTube yet to know what those are. But I know in one of the videos I saw, you got them hanging on the wall, man. You've achieved YouTube some pretty high status within YouTube. Is that right?
They're called silver awards when you hit 100,000. And that's why I was kidding. I had 2 of them, like I said, like Conor McGregor with the 2 belts. So I had 2 of the plaques from my Acoustic Selection and Country Song Teacher channel. And what's funny is I tell people, I say, I'm really not being humble. I think it's amazing the amount of followers I have for the knowledge I have with guitar. But in a lot of ways, I think by me not being so advanced, it helps me be a better teacher for beginners.
100%.
Because I can't sit there and do all the lead fancy stuff. I know basic chords and can kind of hear a song on the radio, know the chords, that kind of thing, and teach it. So that kind of shortcoming, whatever you would call it, in some ways is a blessing to help me kind of identify my following more.
Right. No, I would agree. That's thus the reason that I found you in the first place is, I'm not that advanced. I've played with it, off and on. I've learned 3 chords in the truth. I can play a few chords, still can't play a bar chord to save my life. I don't know if I'll ever be able to play a bar chord. They just irritate me. And anybody not a guitar fan probably has no idea what we're talking about. Anybody that has tried to play the guitar definitely knows what we're talking about. So I'm that guy that like skips that note, and when I'm pulling up tablature on the web and pulling up songs, I'm like, all right, I'm skipping that. I don't even know how to play that one. So I'll just act like I know what I'm doing. But no, your stuff's really great. I agree. I think the realness, the rawness, the kid walking in every now and then, of just sitting in your living room, having your son walk in or, sons walk in or hearing noise in the background. I think it's so real, man. It's all of us, because that's just all of us. So I love that. I appreciate the realness of it. I really do.
It started to, like, again, snowball, so to speak, for me when I realized if people know me, usually they can be around me for a few minutes. I'm pretty easygoing. And I said, I'm going to come across that way. That's how I am just in real life. So as far as the polished, perfectly staged, that's just not me. So I said, I kind of want to reflect, just kind of be more authentic. If I miss a note, laugh at myself. If I can't play, I've been middle of the song like you have. I'm the teacher. I can play that. So people almost feel like they're learning along with me because, again, a lot of things are challenging for me. I get requests every day, hundreds of them. I say, sorry, man, I can't play that either. I'm working on it. I'll let you know if I can do it.
Yeah.
So it's funny how you can get a following in a lot of ways, just being real and kind of going along side by side with people instead of just here's me, here's you, trying to get where I am. You know?
Yeah, man, I feel like I'm sitting around with a friend, learning how to play the guitar together, and you're just a little bit further along than I am. And I think that's so real. And that's why I really wanted to have you on, because of this season. So many people get a guitar, and especially a lot of people are sitting around with nothing to do right now, man. Go, if you got a guitar, get it out, dust it off, tune it up, pull up this channel and learn some songs, right? I mean, learn some stuff, because, you'll be surprised that, well, you know what, before you know it, I'm I'm playing Luke Combs stuff, and my daughters love me some Luke Combs, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I learned Beautiful Crazy, you know, or something, you know, and they love it. And again, it doesn't sound great, and I can't sing for anything, but you know, it's fun, and it's in this time that we're in this world. We need some of that in our lives. We need distractions. We need fun. So I'm a huge fan of your channel, and really recommend it to anybody watching this.
No, I appreciate it. And, you know, I am what a blessing that through all this crazy time of 2020, all my stuff has just increased.
Yeah.
Because like you said, more people are home.
Yep.
More people are looking for like an outlet. And I was telling somebody in the gym the other day, sometimes I do a video almost every day. I have to remind myself, hey, Matt, don't forget to teach the song. Because I'll get talking and cutting up, and I'm like a motivator and a teacher and encourager by nature. So sometimes I'll get going, and I'm like, I'll be 4 minutes of video. I'm like, time out. I haven't taught the song yet. Let me teach it real fast so I can get pumping you all back up again. So it's just, I always want people, like you said, to feel like they're in my living room, or it's just fun. It's just two friends playing together. Let's just enjoy this. Like you said, you have a long day at work, long weekend, stressful, whatever. Just unwind a little bit and just jam some guitar, you know?
Yeah, and I've seen you do lessons pretty much all over your house. I've seen you do one in your truck at least, right? I think on the job site or wherever it was that you. So let's. And I literally have seen that. I know you know. So so let's talk about. You have a full-time job. This isn't your job. Your full-time job is something completely different, right?
That's correct. My family, my father's been in the coal industry for 40 some years. So, and then my brother, I have an older brother, 3 years older than me. He's a West Point graduate. I couldn't brag on him enough. He didn't know my parents, but so in my office where I'm at now, it's myself, my father, and my brother. So we have a few companies. They do more of the coal mining. We have some real estate projects, and then I have a construction company. We actually take roofing shingles and grind them up and sell them to asphalt companies. So a lot of times, again, I keep that Taylor GS Mini in the back of my truck, and I'll have my little iPhone tripod. If I'm sitting there watching the guys grind and I got some minutes, I'll go in there, pop out a lesson, even in the back.
That's awesome.
Make hay while the sun's shining.
I've seen it before, man, like sitting in the back seat of the truck, just banging out a video real quick. I love it. I mean, you know, like I say, I've watched a lot of them, and it just cracked me up. I'm like, man, this guy's sitting in his truck. That's dedication right there. He's got a full-time job, and yet he can find time to make videos for, you know, hacks like me.
I said I knew I made it to one day when I was literally doing that. And so these big tractor trailers come in, and the construction crew will scoop up, it's called RAS, recycled asphalt, and they scoop it up, put it in the truck or whatever. So the guy is driving by, and he slams on his brake, and he comes to my window. He's like, dude, you're the guy from the YouTube whatever. He wanted pictures and stuff. He was sending back to his wife and kid. He's like, you were just on my TV last night. So that was funny. He saw me back there teaching. He's like, man, I was just watching one of your videos. This is crazy.
That's when you know you've arrived, right? That's when you know you've arrived. That's awesome. That is so awesome. So now guitars, and then again, so anybody listening, please go check it out. If you got a guitar, dust off a guitar, get a guitar, whatever you feel like getting a guitar, go buy you a $99 guitar. They have bulk deals. Although I heard Guitar Center is going to go out of business. I know they're chapter 13, but anyway, you can find them online. Go to Amazon, buy one of those guitar packs. It's got your $100 guitar with like a bazillion accessories. Get it, go to this channel and just start plucking away, man. You'll have a good time before you know it. You're going to come back when you need to unwind. You need to just get away for a few minutes. You need to just challenge yourself to something new. Guitar teacher is, and that's so what, and I'll get all the links for sure.
Yeah.
But the main one, the big one is guitar.
Country song teacher.
Country song teacher, right? Country song teacher. And you'll see the videos, pretty much every song you can imagine, not just country too. You got some praise and worship in there. You got some old school country, which guys like myself, I like to see some old Diamond Rio or Alan Jackson or Colin Ray, you name it, man. I love digging in the old stuff too, but so that's not all though, right? You've got more going on. What are some of the other things that you're working on? Because I know you got some fitness stuff, you got some sponsors. What all you got going on?
Yeah, so I have I've always had a passion for fitness, and just same like we say with guitar. There's something about just a hard workout, man. You walk away feeling better every time. So even if I try not to talk about fitness, that's I mean every single morning I start the hour and a half in the gym. I've done that since I was 13. I did my first powerlifting competition at age 14. So I've known kind of fitness my whole life. Been a personal trainer after college for a number of years. So that's always going to bleed into it because that's just who I am, what I enjoy talking about. Um, but man, I'm just I'm a guy that's so excited about life. Whether I've been getting into stocks lately and love business, motivational speakers, self helps, journaling. I'm all into all that kind of stuff. So it's it's a blessing that I have the guitar and the following from that. But I've noticed, especially as I've gotten older, I always want to make it more than guitar. I'm such a helper, and I learned as the Bible verse says, "He who refreshes others is refreshed himself." I found like when the more I try to encourage and help out others, in return, it just always lifts me up. So people ask me all the time, "Man, how are you so happy all the time?" I'm like, it's funny. Sometimes I'm not, but I think, you know what? I need to go pick somebody else up and try to be an encouragement. And then I found as I'm doing that, myself just starts to get lifted, and you start
Right.
getting encouraged, and it just feeds off each other.
Yeah.
So man, I'm into so much. Somebody will ask me about one thing, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing this. I'll
Yeah.
always do the four chords on the guitar. That's a staple.
Hey, and that's pretty much every Luke Combs song, as I've learned from my online guitar teacher. Every Luke Combs song
Hey,
seems to be four notes.
when he comes on TV, I tell my wife, Taryn, her name's Taryn. I'm like, Taryn, you got to appreciate him. I'm like, that man's gonna send our kids to college for whatever reason. Like his videos earn so much, get so many views. I always say we got to one day meet him and shake his hand and tell him thank you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you, right? Right. I had this bass player on recently, and what a story that guy's got to tell from. And he actually walks through. You'll appreciate his person of faith. He walks through the Route 91 shooting in Vegas. Not to promote my own podcast, but that's honestly, I told my wife this morning, it's the most powerful podcast I've ever done. That
Oh man,
story, his story is one of the guys that was literally just right off stage when it happened, and his reflecting on that was incredible. So speaking of Luke Holmes, just
you,
um,
now you talking about the Jason Aldean?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
yep,
so and you can look it up. I mean, he tells the story, but the short of it was he was basically they were just told they were going to be the headliner for Aldean moving forward in this new
okay,
tour that was coming up. And so he was just checking out Aldean's concert because Aldean was on the stage when all that happened. And anyway, he talks about how his faith, it's really, really powerful, man. It's pretty,
yeah, I'll
pretty
check it
incredible
out.
stuff. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And again, I'm not promoting my own podcast. It just, you mentioned
Yeah,
Luke
no, I'm
Combs,
sure
and
I'll check it out.
incredible guy, man. Incredible story. But so let's talk about faith, because you are very open in your faith. You talk a lot about it. I know you do a lot of like a Sunday reflection, or you'll do praise and worship songs or old hymns. I love
Yeah,
that stuff, man. That stuff is what that was the foundation for so many of us growing up. You spend time on that, but then you also really talk about your faith openly on a lot of your channels. So where's that at? Where did that start?
yeah. My parents have been. I always say I'm so scared one day when I go for the judgment because my parents are just amazing people, man. Like they just in just my whole life. I mean, so committed to church and doing the work of the Lord. And they have a mission thing they started in 2013 that they plant churches in Nicaragua. And they also have an orphanage, over 100 orphans in Bolivia. And so I've been, in that environment my whole life and seen God do so many things with my life and those of my family, that kind of thing. And I always said, I want to get a following, as a Bible verse that says, let your light so shine before men, they may see your good works and glorify God. Like I said, I always want to get that following, and that's all fun. But at the end of the day, I want to point them to Christ, and my faith is everything. Um, it's a reason what I do, whether it's praise and worship, whether it's country, whether it's motivating people. It's just been such a staple in my life, and especially like you say during these times, so many people dealing with anxiety and the emails and comments stuff I get. people have like real struggles these days.
Right. Yep.
You know, job loss and financial problems and relationship problems, all this stuff. And I'm like, if I can be a little bit of encouragement and speak a little truth and help them out, that just lights my fire, man. That's what I do.
Yeah. And it is encouraging. I mean, it's always fun to watch. You have an energy about you, for lack of a better term. You just an energy. You know what I mean? Like you watch one of your videos, whether it's on Instagram or on YouTube, and there's just an energy. There's a vibe. There's a joy that we don't see in a lot of people right now. You know, you see a lot of negativity. So when you watch one of those videos, it's like, man, this guy's got something, and I want it. You know, whatever that might be. So it really is a witness. But as you said, it has something to do with the guitar because that was the vehicle to get there.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that's not the driver. It's just the vehicle that got them to you and to your message, whether it's teaching me how to play Beautiful Crazy or teaching me how to play, an old school, hymn. That's pretty cool. It's very, very cool.
No, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, and it definitely is intentional. I don't want to, like I said, shove my faith down everybody's throat or anything, but it's so much who I am, what I do. I really couldn't do what I do without mentioning that. But because you'll see me quote this all the time. I heard somebody say, I want to be a channel of God's blessings and not a reservoir. So it's almost like now that I have this following, any good information I get, I'm always just quick to share it. Because I want people to walk away, man, I'm a better person because I watched his video. Like I said, it can be, man, there's a cool stock tip. This is a cool business idea. Man, I just heard this speaker. I listened to your podcast or anything.
Right.
If I hear it, TV show, I'm quick, man. I'm an open book anyway. I want to share it and try to be a blessing. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's what I appreciate about everything that you've done. So, all right, couple rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. How many guitars do you own? Because there's a lot, man. Every video's got a different guitar, dude. And so I told my wife, I'm like, every time I watch a video, the guy's got another guitar. So how many guitars do you own?
7. And for example, I always tell this story too. I got this nice Martin guitar in here, and my brother decided he's going to learn to play. I knew he'd have attention for it, so I talked him into getting one. Then my mom said she's going to learn. I knew she wouldn't either. I talked her into getting one. So my little sneaky way of doing it, I get the people I know won't learn. Then after about a year, they fade. I take their guitar.
There you go. So it was like, you should probably get and so you probably have I'm a Takamine guy. And it starts with none other than Mr. Garth Brooks, right? I mean, that's what Garth played. Bon Jovi, Bruce. I mean, you name it. The Boss. I'm a Takamine guy. So I could see that. So that's the lesson is if my son says, hey, I want to learn how to play guitar. Hey, you need to go buy this Takamine. Is that how that works?
How old are your kids? How old is your son?
I have a sophomore in college, a senior in high school, and a sophomore in high school.
Oh, they can definitely be. Mine's still a little young, but yeah, yours got to be learning.
All right, so that's the goal is, all right, so I probably need to encourage them, hey, you should pick up a guitar. If I want a guitar, a different brand, I need to encourage them. Yeah, we need to get you one of those, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, you know what you're talking about. I'm the expert, so just get this one. Okay.
Oh, you don't want to play it anymore? I'll just take it. That's how that works. Okay. Now I see the scam. Not a scam. I see how it works. I'm in with you. So you got 7 guitars. Is that right?
It's correct. Yeah.
7 guitars. What's your brand of choice?
Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but those are premium. It's hard to get a $100.
Yeah, this one Taylor. The story of this, I got a Taylor 614 CE. My mother said, man, if you really, really stick with this, we'll buy you a nice guitar one day. After 5 or 6 years, she said, man, you're really into this. But I remember I was coming from Raleigh to Charlotte, going across Interstate 40. It came it's one of the scariest I've ever been my whole life. It came the worst snowstorm known to man. Well, I didn't realize it. So everybody was telling me, get off the road. I went up and got that guitar. It shouldn't have been taking too long. My brother's working. So then I got that guitar, went back on the road, and all the alerts were stay off the road. I kept driving, and literally every car was just crashing in front of me. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna die with this guitar. So I had this little company car, and I mean, I was so scared. Gas light was on. Finally, I made it to a hotel about 30 minutes before my house. Spent the night, but me and my guitar. But so that one always has good memories with me.
You know, they become a part of us. I think you know every one of them's got a story that
Oh yeah.
it's not just an instrument, right? I mean, I think anybody that plays guitar, that's why we probably named. Did you name all seven? So that's the question. Did you name all seven?
No, I haven't named them. That's a good idea. I need to.
You
But you
need
can't
to.
sell one. I did that my first one. As soon as you get rid of it, you'll look back in a few years. Man, I should have got rid
What
of that one.
it,
So don't
it's
get rid of the
funny.
guitars.
Well, it's funny you made. It's funny you named. You mentioned Charlotte because that's her name. So that's
Okay.
and that's a whole story for another day. As you probably have seen, I'm a huge North Carolina fan, which we'll get into in a minute because
Okay.
I know you live there. So, but so yeah. So you've already mentioned it. So you're from Virginia, right? West
Correct.
Virginia, Virginia-ish, and then
Right.
you went to Virginia Tech,
Correct.
correct? And now
Yeah.
you're in Carolina.
Correct.
And how did all that happen?
So born in West Virginia until I was 8 years old. My father took another job of coal mining in southwestern Virginia. So the very southwestern. We used to live in Southwest Virginia, shop in Tennessee. My dad worked in Kentucky, so right there at that little triangle area. Um, so that's where I kind of grew up all through high schools, played sports and stuff there. Went and played football. Actually, played football with Michael Vick. That's a little known fact you don't
How
know.
about
At
that?
Virginia Tech. Um, just played for a year in the back injury and all that stuff. So I just did that a year. After Virginia Tech, I went to actually Birmingham, Alabama for a couple of years, then to Charlotte, North Carolina, then here. So I moved around quite a bit.
And in all your time in North Carolina, you've never picked up being a North Carolina fan?
Yeah, my sister in law is a huge Duke fan. Um, so most of they're big Duke. I'm more Carolina. I'm more UNC.
All right. Well, that was a good recovery because
Or you cut me off. Yeah,
for,
I saw your expression, so I had to change there.
yeah, for a
Yeah,
minute there, it was about to get real tense. No, I'm kidding. I actually, I'm a huge Buzz Williams fan, and so when Buzz came to Virginia Tech, and I liked him back when he was at Marquette. When he came to Virginia Tech, and I even like Seth. You know, when he was at Virginia Tech, I always felt bad for Virginia Tech. I feel bad for any team not named North Carolina or Duke in the ACC in
yeah,
basketball, at least, because you don't
me
have,
too.
you do your best, but any coach has just got to be like, man, what, come
What
on,
do you do, right?
right? Come on. But
You
they
look every
fight
year the
and
recruiting list. You're like, okay,
right. I mean, they do the best they can, and they beat them occasionally, and Florida States and Miami's and Virginia Tech's. You know, they always play real competitive. Mike Bray up in Notre Dame, he always puts together great teams. And but any team in the ACC, that's just got to be like, but I
yeah,
love me some Buzz Williams,
yeah,
just a man of faith and
yeah.
an inspiration, as you said, a leader, all those things. I'm a huge Buzz Williams kind of disciple. I watch everything that he talks about and does because he's really class. That's a class
Yeah, so
individual.
I've heard the same thing, but others say about him.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all really good. So then you end up in Raleigh, and
Hmm.
so now you're kind of in that NC State territory, right? Are you close to state or?
Yeah, live real. I probably 15 minutes from NC State. Yeah, so we got NC State, Duke, UNC, but I'm still Hokie. I pull for basketball, UNC, but yeah, still Hokies for sure.
Well, it's all good. It's all good. As long as you don't say that D word again, I'm good. Don't
And then
don't
we'll
mention.
keep talking to you.
No, it's very cool, man. This has been awesome. I'm excited to hopefully people will get this, and I'm going to keep promoting this not just now but after Christmas because I think a lot of people are going to hopefully wake up with a guitar under their tree. I think that's where a
Yeah,
lot of people
hopefully.
get their first one, right? And I think you just have a great comfortable so I've seen a ton of videos online because thank God for YouTube that you can learn how to play anything.
Ain't that
When
the
I first
truth?
started learning, man, I had a little song book and I don't even know if I had a DVD. I think I might have VHS at the time, and I'm
Right?
trying to figure this out. You make it so much easier, like, hey, do this, do this, do this, play this song. Before you know it, you're like, man, hey, I can play whatever song it is, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to get you on for that, number one. But two, number one, I appreciate how much you share your faith it online. You've taken that platform and you're using it for something very positive.
No, I appreciate it, man. It's funny you're talking about those YouTube videos. I'm really aware too. I go back and watch some of my first videos. You know, you hope we improve on things, and I would watch some of them back. I'm just like, man, where's the energy? It would be so just tense and okay, play a G, play that. I'm thinking, man, I got to bring a little more life to it. So hopefully I've got a little more energy for my first days.
A ton of energy, a ton of fun, and you just mentioned it. I just noticed my tree is crooked.
I
So
like it.
hey, right? I mean, we learn as we go. My Christmas tree is crooked. It's not gonna fall. I promise it's not gonna fall, but it is crooked. So, but no, that's the beauty of it, and it's wonderful. I appreciate it because I get to meet guys like you, and to have you come on this podcast. You got 170,000 subscribers. I got like 30. So it's a pretty
It
big
starts
deal
slow.
anytime.
You get them.
Yeah, anytime somebody comes on and just shares their time, takes a little bit of time to tell their story, and especially someone of faith and someone in a something that I love, and that's guitars, and I don't know, I'm
I,
really, really thankful.
I appreciate. I didn't know you play guitar. To be honest with you, so no, that's good stuff. You need to close out the podcast with a good tune or something.
No, man, no. So let define play guitar because that's debatable. But no, it's I play around. I think on the guitar, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's a good escape whenever you get the chance. And I've just always enjoyed just kind of escaping for just a little bit. And it's real nice to pull up a video that gives me 3-4 chords for the latest song I heard driving home or whatever it was. And
Exactly.
you've got a great thing going on. Your energy is fantastic. Your audience, I know appreciates all that. And it's not just that. Again, there's multiple things you're doing. So before we get off, really quick, give me all the links because I want to put them in the blog post. And anybody driving down the road, where can we find you? Instagram,
So
all of it.
Instagram is just country song teacher, and the website is just countrysongteacher.com.
Okay.
I was debating what name to do, and I was working with my wife and my sister-in-law. They do kind of the artwork and logos. I said, I just want to teach country songs, and my sister-in-law said, "Well, country song teacher." We kind of laughed. I was like, "Okay, let's go with it." So here we are. I said, straight to the point. People know what I'm doing. So
right.
Instagram and the website, and then you'll see, or just my name, Matt McCoy, and you see. What's funny too, it's amazing. Like I think I have 2,000 and some videos, which is just mind-boggling.
Wow.
You don't realize it if you're one or two a week, and then the week after week, and before you know it, you look back like, how in the world did I have that many videos online?
Yeah.
It just, slowly eat at it, and then you look back like, whoa, how to do all that?
Right. Well, man, I wish you and your family, you're beautiful. You got a beautiful family from what I've seen, online. Beautiful family. I wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and thanks for everything that you do. Thanks for coming on here again at my Little Bitty podcast. But I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
We'll do it again sometime for sure. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I'll try to learn like some song. No, I'm just kidding. We'll have I don't think we'll have a jam session on Zoom anytime soon. But no, man, I'll keep watching. I love watching you, your family, all that stuff kind of online, and thank God for that. It's really cool just to just be friends before we ever met. And I'm thankful for your time, man. This has been great today.
Sounds good, man. If you're ever in Raleigh, give me a shout. We'll do coffee or something.
Hey, that sounds great. We haven't been there in a while. We used to cut through. We used to go to Outer Banks every year, by way of Chapel Hill, and so it's about 8 hours. Now the kids were a lot younger then, and we had to break up the drive. Instead of 13 or 12 hours, we would go 8 and then 3 or 4, however far it is, over to OBX, and we'd spend the night in Chapel Hill. So if we ever do it again, man, you'll be the first guy I call.
For sure, I hear you, man.
All right, Sounds Merry good. Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas to your family.
Sounds good. You too, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. We'll talk.
God bless you.
All righty. Bye-bye.